It's all happening. It's all happening. Esau, he picked a battle or started a fight he couldn't finish. And he's getting bit by serpents on the right hand side. All because he picked the wrong fight. You know, I wanted to try to charm our people as if he was going to ultimately be able to do that. But before I get into this call, Halam La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, Wahara Chachodash, double honors to the Holy Elect Elder Apostles and Elder Bishops at the Great Millstone Church. Lord willing, slave to be saved. Shalom to the rest of the Akim that's out here under the same doctrine, doing what they need to do according to the scriptures in the order to the best of their ability across the four corners of the globe, and to the rest of the believers in on this faith of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So yeah. So as you can see, you know, the Nets, the Brooklyn Nets, which Brooklyn, pretty much this thing continues, you know, which is the pretty much the mass awakening, the whole, you know, fiasco that these Jamaica-wish people have on their hands through ultimately the Heavenly Father, but by the likes of Kanye due to the which is basically them being bombarded with truth or trying to hope, you know, basically do play damage control, you know what I'm saying? Due to, you know, some truth he let out, and that's how we are actually the Jews, you know? What are 12 tribes of Israel, and that we being us so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, you know? And that's basically what they have on their hands now. You know, a bunch of damage control, a bunch of breaches all over the place. But this was due to pretty much really a battle or something. This was all due to Esau starting this, and now he's seeing that he can't finish it. You know, and everything that's happening. Once again, you see through this article, it says Nets respond to Kyrie Irving endorsement of anti-Semitic content with condemnation of quote-unquote hate speech. This came out yesterday, October 28th, as of today, 2022. And like I said, this is all was pretty much, let me just jump into it. It says on Thursday afternoon, Brooklyn Nets guard Kyrie Irving posted a tweet and an Instagram story endorsing a 2018 film described as filled with anti-Semitic disinformation, right? And that's what they pretty much label anything that's the truth, which that's a part of their campaign. I had just did a lesson on it not too long ago. They pretty much have held a council. They've been done this, but you know it's being pressed more. They hold more councils on, you know, stopping this truth. Ultimately, which is bringing them down, bringing them out of power, bringing the end of their world, and that they're being these so-called Jamaica wish people who are the Amalekites, the top tribe of the race of Edom, you know, the biblical Edomites, you know, Esau. All right, these people are Esau. So, which they know that's how their end comes, through Jacob grabbing a hold of their heel. You know, and we know they was that child, you know, because remember in the beginning you had Jacob and Esau. Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, because Esau is the end of the world. That's what that represented when you read that in Jeremiah 27th chapter. All right. And it tells you that when you go to 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, in the 8th verse on through. And the Apocrypha is canon. When you go to St. John 10 and 22, that verse right there proves to you that the Apocrypha is canon. because the Feast of Dedication is in Maccabees, which is in the Apocrypha. You won't find that anywhere else. All right, and that was showing you that the Messiah himself was keeping the Feast of Dedication. So the Maccabean time happened, and they were giving heed to those scriptures that was written during those times. Because how else would the Messiah be keeping it? You know, it'd be going on during a time when he'd be on the scene. So yeah, you could read that. Ultimately, like I said, Esau, Jacob's hand held first the hill of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob at the beginning of it that followed it. That's laid out to you in that Apocrypha, which is where those Maccabean books are at, talking about, which is where the Feast of Dedication was set up at, or basically. But nonetheless, to stay on the point, that's also where the book of Second Ezra is at, for those that don't know. So yeah, so pretty much Jacob, we call Jake for short, which is the forefather of us so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, right? Symbolically would take through the hand, obviously that right hand pulling Esau down, was Esau as the righteous child. He represented the righteous child, the perfect child. He was said to be a plain man. That word plain means dom. But when you look at the Esau, the forefather of the so-called white race, these Jamaica-wish fake Yahoo people, right? These so-called white people, they come from him. But that child symbolized, which is ultimately what they symbolize, just like we symbolize what our forefathers symbolized. They symbolized, their forefathers symbolized, which is what? Being the wicked, aka the child of lies. All right, it tell you that Psalms 58 and verse 3. The wicked art estranged from the womb, right? And the womb that's always talked about in the scriptures and the Bible is the womb of Rebecca. All right, it says they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. That's a Laki. I said Genesis 27. It's actually Genesis 25 if I misspoke, which I think I did. I believe I did. But anyway, Genesis 25 and verse, let's start at 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord Yahweh for his wife because she was barren. And the Lord Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. She conceived, right? And the children, so she had twins, struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? Right? She was pregnant, but she was having some obviously worse than contractions. But anyway, and she went to inquire of Yahweh. And the Lord Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb. See that? And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. So they will be completely different. Two different manners. That will be pretty much the manner of good and the manner of evil. All right. Anyway, it says, shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people. Right. Just like the truth is stronger than lies. All right. Light is stronger than darkness. But anyway, it says, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And it says, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, right? And those twins became Esau and Jacob. It says, and the first came all red, all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And it's so much you could say on that, but I'll hold my tongue right now. But it says, and after that came his brother out. And it doesn't even say how he looked, because he looked normal. You know what I'm saying? He was obviously a so-called black man, black child, melanated child. It says that his hand took hold on Esau's heel, And that's the point. And his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 60 years old when she bare him, right? And when you read the next verse, it tell you how Esau, their characteristics. Esau says, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter and a man of the field, right? In the Bible, the word field goes into the world. So Esau was worldly. He was a hunter. You know, he understood how to take down things weaker than him. You know what I'm saying? And he was crafty at doing it. That's these so-called white people, man. But it says, and Jacob was a plain man. You look that word plain up, it means perfect. Meaning also pious. You know? Moral. But it says, dwelling in tents. All right? So, yeah. So when you go to 2nd Ezra in the Apocrypha, it explains to you this was symbolic. And what that meant was Jacob was going to bring down Esau during his time, during his rule. All right, you just go look it up. And what's heavy about this, I know it said you would look it up, but you know I'm just gonna get it through the spirit. It said how the children struggled together with their, right? So they were fighting. All right, they were battling, and Esau is actually the elder brother. So you know the elder brother usually is, that's they got that pretty much stereotype. You know, he'd pretty much be the one. If there were picking going on, it would be by him. So that's spiritual. He picked a fight that he ultimately couldn't finish, and it showed you that here, this 2nd Ezra, that actually did represent that. You know, when you go to 2nd Ezra 6 and 7, then answered I and said, what shall be the party asunder of the times, or when shall the end of the first be, end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, right? Because that's dealing with the times we living in now. You know what I'm saying? Which they obviously bad times, which Ezra's, we're still living the times that Ezra was living in, because it was slavery going on. We was in slavery. Ezra is an Israelite, right? It was lies still going on, because you had heathens thinking there were other gods, and that's still the case to this day. The Lord hasn't fulfilled Romans 14 and 11 yet. Every knee and tongue has not bowed and confessed unto the one power. Also, Zechariah the 14th chapter has not been fulfilled. You know, everybody gonna worship the one Lord. You know, his name gonna be one, Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? Echad, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah. People, that hasn't happened yet. So if that's going on now, and that was going on then, we still in these same times now. So that's why this is relevant, right? In these times that we're in, they're gonna be ended through Esau coming down. Esau ultimately being exposed, right? Esau ultimately losing the fight. You know, like I said, how's a war on info? Like that dude, I don't even want to use that, but yeah, this disinformation, right? When the disinformation is nothing more than the truth that's exposing the lies. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's how it all is going to end, and they know that. But that wouldn't have to happen. I'll get to that. But this wouldn't have to happen if they didn't tell the lie in the first place. So they picked the battle they picked the fight that they couldn't finish, and that's what they starting to see. But anyway, it says, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the hill of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world. See that? And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So Jacob would have grabbed Esau before he left out of the womb. He grabbed a hold of his heel, you know, and that ultimately brought him, you know, on the scene, you know, and if he grabbing a hold of a child's heel, that symbolizes in which the child symbolized. And if he grabbed a hold of a child that symbolized, um, or a man, because Esau went on to be a man, a so-called man, right? If he grabbed a hold of him and he symbolized lies, wickedness, going back to Psalms 58, because that's exactly what he represented, right? Let's get that. Psalms 58 and back in verse 3, right? It says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. See that? That's why it said we was going to be divided. You know what I'm saying? Estranged. But anyway, it says from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. See that? So that's what he was set up to do. He was set up to tell lies. And Jake was set up to tell the truth. You know, it'll tell you that when you read Sirach, the 33rd chapter, look upon all the works of the Most High, and you shall see there are two and two, one against another. You know, the good is against the evil. You know, life against death, darkness against light, light against darkness. You know, so they were of opposite, you know, things. You know what I'm saying? So Esau being a lie who will go forth, right? There's so many thoughts I'm getting through the spirit, but Esau being a lie that will go forth, he will be grabbed by Jacob. Jacob representing a lie, you know, and pulling down that, which takes me to, and I'm gonna jump back to this article. All right. And that's clearly all off of, you know, fighting that was taking place. Clearly, you know, he started a battle he couldn't finish. You know, and that's what his descendants seeing. You know, so when you go to 2 Corinthians 10 and 5, it says it started 4. You know what? It started 3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. Because he that is first shall be last, and the last shall be first. So Esau coming out first, you know, pretty much you would think that he would have gotten the blessing, which it was his birthright because he was the firstborn child. But he came out on the scene as if he was the one that would get that, you know, the birthright, the inheritance, all of that, the promise, and that would be a lie. That wouldn't be the truth, because they just look how they worked out. You know, that's crazy, man. That's why the Lord went on to say that he that the first shall be last and the last shall be first. And then here we come on the scene. While they think they about to run off in the sunset, or they have established this to be the truth and it's a lie. And then here we come with the truth. You know what I'm saying? Here, like, nope. They're the people. Then here we come, like, nope, with the information. And then they come with disinformation. And then we just come back with more. It's crazy, you know? But it says, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God. See? Remember, we wrestled with an angel till we got blessed. Jacob. But mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. See, to the pulling down of strongholds. What's a stronghold? And casting down imaginations. See, imaginations is made up stuff. And every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God. So that's what Jacob's hand represented, grabbing a hold of Esau, pulling him down, you know, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of a Mashiach. And a Mashiach is ultimately the truth. You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, in the spirit, if you could receive it, there, you know, a fight took place that was obviously picked by Esau, you know, and he wasn't able to finish it. And that's what his descendants is seeing now play out in the spirit. You know what I'm saying? They started all this. Esau, they forefather, he started something, you know. He was the wicked. The scriptures tell the Lord's people, which Jacob was the progenitor of, to be we peacemakers and all that. As much as possible, live peaceably with all men. So it was Esau that started something in the womb. You know what I'm saying? He started a fight that he ultimately couldn't finish. It wasn't given to him to finish. You know what I'm saying? He would completely lose to Jacob, and that's exactly what you're seeing happen now. So now, this done happened with Kyrie Irving. It says on Thursday, the Brooklyn Nets guard Kyrie Irving posted a tweet and an Instagram story endorsing a 2018 film described as filled with anti-Semitic disinformation. The post include a link to the Amazon page marketing the film, right? And let's go here. So this is complete damage control. They saying he like Kanye, right? Net star Kyrie Irving pushes film of virulent anti-Semitism, that's another lie. These are the anti-Semites. These so-called Jamaica-wish people, because they act like there is no other people that came from Shem, because we don't know who Shem is, but Shem is who came from Shem. But the word Shem is in the Bible one time, but it comes from the word Shem, or whose name was Shem, who brought forth the likes of the East Indians, the Arabs, you know what I'm saying, the so-called Japanese and Chinese people, and these so-called white people who are Esau, but also the chosen people, the Hebrew Israelites. All those people also being Hebrews, Hebrew Edomites, Hebrew Ishmaelites being these so-called Muslims, So that's pretty much that. So that's a lie. So he can't be anti-Semite. And that's what Kanye was saying. But look, and how? Because we come from Shem. The chosen people, the Hebrew Israelites, which we simply are so-called black people, come from Shem. So-called black, Latino, and Native American Indian people. Kyrie Irving does a lot of questionable things on Twitter. This has become somewhat second nature for the highly polarizing Brooklyn Nets star. On Friday, Kyrie sent out a tweet that might get him in hot water again. Look, and this is it. That's all he put. No words. Hebrews to Negroes, wake up, Black America. That's what he tweeted. With a so-called black hand in chains, with the ancient Paleo Hebrew, which is our original language before they changed it to English. It says, seems innocent enough, right? The Nets point guard also didn't include any caption in his tweet, so most folks probably won't make anything of it, especially since, as mentioned earlier, tweeting out unconventional stuff has been pretty much on brand for a living, which all these people sleep due to the dang devil. He's gone out to the four corners of the earth and deceived everybody. He deceived all the nations. It tell you that in the book of Revelation, the 12th chapter, and Revelation in the 20th chapter. You know what I'm saying? So and the word revelation means reveal. And who's supposed to be revealed? Esau, when you go into the scriptures, which is how this world is going to be ended. You know what I'm saying? Which is how Esau is which is going to be played out through Jake taking hold of the lies. Hence Esau's heel. Because your heel, they say your heel, like your Achilles heel. What's your Achilles heel? You know what I'm saying? And his Achilles heel is truth. Jake grabbing a hold of his Achilles heel. And his Achilles heel is truth. So when you read on, it says, unfortunately, there's a dark story behind this film. The movie Kyrie is promoting is based on a book of the same title, Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up, So-Called Black America. Below is an excerpt of the novel synopsis, which let's just say, might draw the ire of more than a few folks out there, which is all set up to happen. But anyway, so these devils trying to play damage control, that's all. But this excerpt, it says this book will expose from the book which the movie comes from. Same people, same Jakes, right? Who know the truth as well. This book, quote unquote, this book will expose the truths that have been hidden by the powers that be in America. And there are powers that be in America. When you go to Second Ezra, the Lord tells you in Second Ezra 6th chapter how in the beginning, because pretty much Esau can't finish this because he ultimately truly didn't start it. The Lord established all this. He set all this up. And it just looked like, for those that don't have eyes to see and ears to hear, like he the one who did it. But that's how the Lord wanted to look. He just used him as the instrument. But ultimately it go back to him. But in a sense, it looks like he did start something that he can't finish. But the reason he can't finish is because he ultimately didn't start in it. Is he was set up to lose. He's a lie. He can't finish the truth. You know what I'm saying? The truth can finish lies. Lies can't finish truth. A lie is an imagination. It's not even there. It doesn't even exist. It's fake. So but the truth gonna be the truth regardless. So lies can't end truth because they actually are real. They actually exist. Truth ends lies though by just coming on the scene. Grabbing a hold of them. Why? Because the truth is what exists, but the lies don't. And the truth makes that clear, makes that apparent. So when you put light on something, when you think something is there, because it's just dark. It's darkness left on it. They don't see. That's why they put black on us. But when you bring light to the situation, you're like, oh, y'all not really black. Your skin not even black. You're brown. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look into our history. You actually go into the things that light hasn't been put on, and it's just been left dark. And then you can see whether it's something there or not. And you clearly putting light on us in our situation, us being a so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. You can see, like, dang, these are the Hebrew Israelites. Dang, they are oppressed. Dang, they aren't black. They're not, yeah, we're not, all of that. So that's why Esau ultimately can't finish this. You know what I'm saying? Because he is of a lie. Lie can't do nothing with the truth. But the point is, when you go back to Second Ezra 6th chapter, it tell you how the Lord, it's the case. He lets it be known that he did all of this and got it looking like this. And it tells you how the powers that be, that's manifold, before the powers that be were established. Let me grab that. So I'm going to wrap this up. Second Ezra 6 and 1. And he said unto me, in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, or ever the winds blew. See, and this is the same chapter. This is the context of this chapter, which a few verses down goes into Esau and Jacob, how these times gonna end. When will the time after, the time we want to get out of will take place. Because thus showing you when this time in also this world, because you got time within the world, then you got world and earth, two different things. You know what I'm saying? So world like society, organization, things like that, right? And time being in that, was Ezra's wasn't messing with the one then, which is actually the one we're still in now. But with that one, with it being one talked about to end, that shows you it's gonna end, and not just end, and to where after that is no more, the earth is no more life, everything goes blank, but also that one is gonna begin after that, right? The righteous one, the wicked one is coming to an end. Everybody see that. So ironically, and that's based off Esau, who's the face of this world, who has a world that has been given to him, and including the time. You see what I'm saying? But here we are in this world, and it's like this dude don't even exist, But that's why it comes down to Jacob taking a hold of him. Jacob had to grab somebody that was there, so Esau can't be gone. You know what I'm saying? because Jacob still is not on the scene ruling. These people aren't Jacob. Then they try to say, well, Esau gone. But how if the Messiah haven't even came back yet? When he left, he told the pilot, who was an Edomite, and that's proven when you go into the scriptures. The Edomites was there when the Lord got here. Those Greeks in which you had the Maccabean revolt happen, which is when the Israelites rose up against the Greek so-called white people, the Edomites, the Idumeans. Read second Maccabees or first Maccabees, the 4th chapter, and I believe that I'll just grab it. I ain't gonna short you. First Maccabees 4:61. It says, let's start at 59. Moreover, Judas and his brethren with the whole congregation of Israel ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in their season from year to year by the space of 8 days, from the 5 and 20th day of the month Caslu, with mirth and gladness. So this is telling you how they got to that John 10 and 22. They came from during the Maccabees time. We rededicated the temple, hence created Hanukkah. That's our holiday, not Kwanzaa, like Kanye was saying. But anyway, and they took ours. But anyway, in at that time, they also they builded up Mount Zion with high walls and strong towers round about, lest the Gentiles, who are non-Israelite people, right? But at this time, but now also Israelite people, because the Israelites became like non-Israelites during this period. That's what the Maccabees was about. That this was during Alexander the Greek's time when he was ruling and Hellenizing the earth, making people change their customs and whatnot. And our people, the Israelites, were doing that. We were doing that. It says some of Jake, but it says lest the Gentiles should come and tread it down as they had done before. That's the point. And they set a garrison. And they set there a garrison to keep it, and fortify Bersura to preserve it, that the people might have a defense against Idumea. So those people they was revolting against, who were the Greeks, were Idumeans. Idumea is another word, is a Latin word for Edom, Edomites, Esau. When you go into it, when you look it up. All right. Period. So, when Yahushua got to the scene, he was celebrating the Feast of Dedication. When you read St. John 10 and 22, right? That was obviously something that was being honored because it was taking place regardless. Like, it was going on in the scriptures. That means all this happened, right? And the Idumeans, guess what? They were still around because the Greeks, who were the Idumeans, the Edomites, they went on, basically, other white people took down other so-called white people, which is the Romans. That's when the Roman Empire came. Period. That's that. And those people were Edomites. So that's the whole point. So they try to say that they're the Jews and Esau's done away with, but when the Messiah came, the Edomites weren't done away with. They were whole still around. And then another cut. Even if you want to argue like, well, they'll say that the Romans were Edomites, which I did a lesson on that. But even if you want to argue that, right? Where does it say that the Idumeans were done away with during that time of the Maccabees? And it wasn't said any other time after that. And since that's the case, they're not done away with. How would they be done away with when Esau's the end of the world, which is happening right now? So Esau, this is his world. He's here. Who is Esau? A man that's hiding himself. When you go to Second Ezra, I'm kind of goddamn jumping, but when you go to Jeremiah. No, let's go to Obadiah 1. Let's go to 6. It says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Because he hid them. How is Esau being talked about now? Because he's still here. Why is Esau being found out about? Because that's the Lord would do to end this world, man, this time. And this is why he's sending his son back. Jeremiah 49:10. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. Thus pointing out that he would be trying to hide himself. That's why they use black as a label on us and white on a label on them. Them buzzwords for a situation, which means it's pretty much is slang or quick talk. Basically, it represents them not wanting to deal with the situation, the matter regarding our identities, because they know we're Jacob and Esau. We're Jacob and they're Esau. But they try to say they're us, but they can't even let that come out of their mouth, because the name of the Lord is dreadful among the heathen. That's not just what he's called, meaning Yahweh, but also what he stands for. So they say they Jew-ish. Jew come from an Israelite tribe, which is Judah. And that's not even an actual name, because there was no J's during the Lord's time. And there still are no J's. So-called white man imagined that. He created that. Imaginations. That's what we're here to tell people. That's what the Messiah came and said. He said what? His kingdom was not of this world. To Pilate. If my kingdom were of this world, my servants would fight. Why did he say that? And then that points out that there are different worlds. Everybody talk about God so loved the world, but he said my kingdom is not of this world. So what world? That shows you there's different worlds. So what world does the Lord love? And Hebrews 1 proves it to you that there's many worlds. It tells you that in Hebrews 1. He made the worlds by the Messiah, who you people ignorantly call Jesus Christ, through the devil, through these so-called Jamaica wish people who run Hollywood. All these movies about the Israelites, Jacob, and so-called Jesus Christ and all of that, while they have the nerve to, through blasphemy, have him, really because they the devil, but have him as a so-called white man, which is not biblical at all. But they do all that mentioning about that, Jacob and whatnot, but Esau they don't even mention at all. No movies about Esau. They won't dare touch that. It's dark. Why? Because they're Esau. Why they don't want Esau being talked about? Why they putting white on them? Because that's what brings their world down. That's what ends their world. So they hid these things. They hid who they are. They hiding, and to hide who they are, they will have to hide who we are. To tell a lie, you got to know the truth. But anyway, man, when you go back to Second Ezra, I know I'm saying a lot, but it's just the spirit, man. I'll be trying. This Second Ezra 6 and 1. So, and he said unto me, in the beginning when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, or ever the winds blew, before it thundered and lightened, or ever the foundations of paradise were laid, before the fair flowers were seen, or ever the movable powers were established, or ever the movable powers were established, or ever the movable powers were established. See that? And that's manifold. So these powers that be right now exist. They were set up by the Heavenly Father. That's why you got to understand that he creates good and evil. You know what I'm saying? He said, I create all these things. He make peace, and whatnot. Roughly paraphrasing. Read Isaiah 45:7. Read 1 Samuel 2. Right? The Lord is a balanced power. Read Proverbs 11:1. Right? Before the innumerable multitude of angels were gathered. Right? He said, what? Or ever the heights of the air were lifted up. Before the measures of the firmament were named, or ever the chimneys in Sion were hot, or ere the present years were sought out. Right? What's going on right now? Right? How, how long this thing gonna go on, or ever the inventions of them that now sin were turned. It says before, and then pretty much him going into when wickedness came on the scene through things that were created, and ultimately Satan rising through his physical counterpart was these so-called white people, these Jamaica Wish people, right? And then being defeated ultimately. The Lord seen he seen the end from the beginning. He played it all out and said, "This is how we gonna do it," to show his power, to show us who he is, how this thing, to learn, show us what's truth, what's lies, to show what happens when you follow wickedness. All of this, you know. He said, or ever the inventions of them that now sin were turned. Before they were sealed that have gathered faith for a treasure. Because at the end, when the inventions of them that now sin get turned, you know, when the devil get brought down, which happens through these so-called white people being exposed first, Esau being exposed first, right? Obviously, you know what I'm saying? And that's why they playing damage control, because it's ending their world, you know? And they trying to do anything to threaten us. That's what's happening. Taking money, closing banks, this, that, yada, 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 but while simultaneously exposing themselves. Because y'all showing y'all run everything like Kanye saying. And there is collusion going on, you know? Period. But it says, before they were sealed that have gathered faith for a treasure. So pretty much when the elect, during that time when the devil comes down, these so-called white people are saved. Because he's ultimately going to get destroyed in World War III. America going to be destroyed. All their enterprises coming down. It's a wrap, man. That's how it's going to happen. And the elect are going to be saved through these chariots. These so-called, the chariots our ancestors used to sing about. You know, which is back on the scene today, at this very moment. They seeing them everywhere. You know? Period. Believe it or not. Through their faith. But anyway, then did I consider these things, and they were all made through me alone. This is the Most High talking through the angel Uriel. The angel means messenger. So he sent Uriel to talk to Esdras about all these things, because Esdras was in Babylon complaining, you know. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. He was in slavery. So we in the same goddamn times now, man. We was the people that built Egypt. The second Esdras 4-1, or 3-1. In the 30th year after the ruin of the city, I was in Babylon. See that? And laid trouble upon my bed, and my thoughts came up over my heart. For I saw the desolation of Sion, and the wealth of them that dwelt at Babylon. We dealing with the same thing, man. And my spirit was sore moved, so that I began to speak words full of fear to the Most High, and said, you know? So that's that. And then, based off what he said, the Most High, he sent the angel to holler at Esdras, ultimately to check him first and foremost. But, so all of this could be, you know, written down and said, because a lot of prophecy would have been given to Esdras. This is how the scriptures came to us. You know, it's how the Lord showed us his power by working through us. You know, we're his soldiers. But anyway, second Esdras 6. Lord wanted you to learn this, you know, stuff. But anyway, it's edifying you. Just edifying, you know, to the Lord, in the Lord's sight. But anyway, second Esdras 6. And where we at? Let's continue in verse 6. Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone. So he's telling us all these things before he laid out how everything was going to be. Even you listening to this video right now, all of that, how long the times would be, etc. Man, he said, then did he consider these things, and they were all made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended. So that's why ultimately the devil, these so-called Jamaica Wish people, they started something they couldn't finish. They started a fight they couldn't finish. They can't finish, and that's what they seeing. Why? Because they ultimately didn't start it. They was used to help it, make it start. Help these things come into fruition. You know, as the Most High's punishing stick. You know, that's crazy, man. And by none other. And so that's that. So he got the Heavenly Father on his tail right now. And this he goes on to talk about the ending of the times. When is all this crap when we in slavery to these heathens and we lose? When is all this end? You know? When? And he told him Esau the end of the world and Jacob's the beginning of it that follow it. But it come down to that hill. Right? Verse 10. The hand of man is betwixt the hill and the hand. Other question Ezra asked out not. It only come down to the hill and the hand. Jacob and Esau. When Jake finally take a hold of Esau's Achilles heel, that's it, man. And that's what? The lies. Well, his truth. Take a hold of truth. The truth. Thy word is truth. St. John 17 and 17. You learn about the Hebrew Israelites through this word, which is how we know they want us. So these mugs are getting beat bad, and they just playing damage control right now. You know, they ultimately getting bit by serpents. But before I finish this, so let's get the excerpt they said that this book came with to finish this off. This book will expose the truths that have been hidden by the powers that be in America. So we know that's true. See that? The Lord established them. The earth say the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. They say the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord. So if the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked and the earth is power, the people that's running the earth are the powers that be. You know? Why? Because they have what's power. You know? Literally. You know, that's Sirach 10 and 4, I want to say that is. And Job 9 and 24. But it says, so everything checking off so far. Since the European and Arab slave traders stepped foot into Africa, blacks, so-called, have been told lies about their heritage. That's true, because they went on and converted to things. They went on and got beat out of things. We took on different customs. We were scattered through different places to where now we are in the result of all of that. And you have people who now come of these people who are actually the Hebrew Israelites that were being traded on the slave markets, right? And having countries taken from them. Really, America, those are the Hebrew Israelites who had America taken from those so-called Native Indians and so-called Latinos. But anyway, through the Arab slave trades, you know, and the European and Arab and the European one, right? It's transatlantic and the sub-Saharan. But anyway, the results now today are seen, which you have a bunch of people in lands that they now have to say that's their home or they're from here, where they speak languages that they go on and utter to where they go on and utter sentences like, yeah, I speak English. But that's all due to these slave trades that have these slave traders, and those things being will be said and are the case right now, or cases right now, as if they're the truth, you know, but they're lies. Those things are lies. You know what I'm saying? You are a so-called American. No, you're not. That's a lie. You know, you Christian, God love it. That's a lie. You love it. You worship a such and such God. No, you don't. That's not the God you worship. You don't know your God. But we know what we worship. You know not what you worship. We know what we worship. Salvation is of the Jews. And you know they are not the Jews, because they don't need to be saved from nothing. You know? We need to be saved from Yah. Look, y'all showing it. So anyway, it says, this was all by Satan's design, and he is the father of lies. That's true. We see that. It says, find out what's going on behind the scenes as it relates to Black America then and now. Afterwards, you be the judge as to who God's chosen people really are. Exactly. And who Satan's army really is after. Exactly. It's that simple. When you read the scriptures, you will see. You know, you will see. Because the scriptures speak to everything that's going on now. And see, Esau, with all this being said, his own celebrities that he set up, you know, is saying now too, which go back to which is what's damaging him. It's helping end his world. The awakening is happening. He started something he couldn't finish, and this only happened because he hid. How artists the hidden things that Esau searched out because he hid them in the first place. The only thing that's keeping this thing back is this devil being revealed, man. Once he completely revealed, the elected seal is over with. Once Jake finally take a hold of that hill completely, the truth, by default, casted down the lies, grabbing onto the lies by doing that. And there's only one truth, right? You know where your power at when you know it's been sayings going on like you know who's in power when you see who you can't criticize, but you know what your power is when they tell you don't say that. You know? So this the truth. This the truth that hurts, that matters, that damages. All right? And that's what we've been teaching. And that's why the Lord prophesied that they're going to come down on our people. You know? But they're going to lose. And it's all due to them starting this crap. Anyway, but they ain't going to be able to finish it just like they can't finish it now. And they never will be able to. It's not written. You know? The game rigged. He hurt. According to a report by Rolling Stones, both the film and the movie strongly promotes beliefs of quote-unquote black Hebrew Israelites. That's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? Which have a long history of misogyny, homophobia, xenophobia, stuff, just crazy crap. Islamophobia, and especially anti-Semitism. Y'all are anti-Semites. You know? Kyrie, and this is 100% showing you Kyrie, he pretty much, because I'm going to get his Twitter too. Matter of fact, let me get it now. Through the Spirit. When you go to his Instagram, not Instagram, Twitter. See, Yahweh, his location. I am, you know, I say Yahweh, but it's Yahweh, you know. And, you know, he right when it come to this. He not crazy when it come to this. You know what I'm saying? Period. Yahweh the Tetragrammaton. And then you go here, he tweeted it. Hebrews to Negroes, wake up, Black America. It's that simple. And then with spiritual, when you go to the tweet, he posted it at 144. You know? It's sad and crazy. It's sad, crazy, and disgusting how many people in the comments are against us so-called black people learning our history and origins. Yeah, and that's what people are starting to see. Everything is being exposed. And look, this dude said, I speak for the earth when saying you affected millions not getting, you know, taking them jump shots. But he wasn't crazy. He's not crazy. And let's check this out.
Kyrie Irving should be on a victory tour right now on every media platform America has. Every media platform should be putting a microphone in his face and saying, Kyrie, go ahead and say, I told you so. But they won't do that. The CDC just came out and now and YouTube now says you can say that the vaccines don't prevent COVID. You know, they're walking back everything that people were saying in real time, and they were running you off platforms. And again, I just want to be crystal clear here. I love Mike Wilbon. Nothing but good to me. But Mike Wilbon and Stephen A. Smith sitting on TV crucifying Kyrie Irving for not taking this vaccine. Yeah. And for ESPN right now not to have helicopters and microphones outside Kyrie's house saying, hey, man, just come on the show and we're going to let you tell everybody how you were right and we were wrong.
So that's a cut, you know? That's a complete cut. And you so-called blacks, you gonna learn, man. Y'all the Hebrew Israelites and these people, they hate us, you know, because they ain't us. So this is complete damage control. So he's not crazy when it comes to this. You know what I'm saying? And he completely meant it. He was 100% talking about what you see through his Twitter. It shows you he's 100% talking about the Hebrew Israelites, the God of Israel. He knows. You know, he's been seen before wearing, serapes with the fringes, you know, the so-called, which we don't push that crap, the Star of David, but you got Hebrew Israelites that do. You know what I'm saying? They think it go back to David, but it doesn't. You know, that's the Star of Molech, Refna, right? Or Refan, however you pronounce it. All right, that's some fake so-called Judaism crap. But anyway, Jewish fables. But anyway, when you go to read on, it says Kyrie Irving is probably not the type that will tweet about something he is not fully aware of. So it is likely that he has either seen the movie or read the book, perhaps even both. It appears that he is supporting the ideas that are being promoted in the field, which is laden with blatant anti-Semitic rhetoric. But nah, this is campaign disinformation, campaign exposure, ban, however I worded it. This is a campaign that's taking place. This is very controversial, a very controversial issue right now. Right now, after hip hop icon Kanye West came out with a slew of anti-Semitic tweets, it got him in trouble. Can't get you like they did, like Esau, Jake Daddy. He's on your daddy when you got hearing what he said, his lies, his so-called history, his story, right? Because just like the Lord said, you are of your father, the devil, right? He abode not in the truth, right? When he speaketh the lie, he telleth of his own, for he is the father of it. See that? Period. Some anti-Semitism, but say we lying. Say it's a lie. Why don't you say we lying? You know? They won't say that. They just try to demonize what we doing and criminalize us in any way. The accuser of our brethren, man, is finally gonna be cast down. He's being, cast down spiritually. He's about to manifest physically now, man. You know. So, and they keep talking about, he not gonna recover from it, but he gonna have all y'all in slavery. That's what y'all don't realize. Y'all know that though. That's why, because you said the scriptures say the devil knoweth he have but a short time. You know what I'm saying? But so he gonna come down having that great wrath. So they know. How? Because they being told. But why are they being told now? Because they lied. So everything this devil do is exposing itself. You know? It's bringing the exposure to bring his end, which was said to be right here. This is 2 Thessalonians 2:4. Let's start at 3. Let no man deceive you by any means. For that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So the falling away happened. Jake fell away, became destroyed for lack of knowledge, and now they get knowledge back. We fell from grace, you know what I'm saying, completely. Fell from our position above all people. And ultimately gonna fall from grace to 2/3 that pretty much would overlook the grace period. You know, they that loathed my law when they had liberty, and when place of repentance was open unto them, the same must know it after death by pain. But that can't happen until I forget, but pretty much, I forget the scriptures. I just forget what I was about to say. But pretty much all that, but simply the falling away before that. And that got nothing to do with that. That's just, forward thinking. But pretty much the falling away, us falling from who we are and discontinuing from our heritage simply. And now we're returning, and that man of sin be revealed. That's it. That's what's gonna bring the end, right? The day of the Lord. Oh, and that is true. It's gonna bring, and that's gonna happen based off when Jake, the 2/3 failed to take this time to learn this truth and take heed and get away from this devil, because When do they finally get judged? When it's over with. When the place of repentance is closed. That's when the day of the Lord comes. That's what it's going into. But the point is, in that man of sin be revealed. It says, the son of perdition, who opposes and exalted himself above all that is called God, or that it is worship, so that he is God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Remember ye not, when I was with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what withhold it, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity do already work. One who only he who now let it will let, until he be taken out of the way. And then shall the wicked be revealed. And these wicked being these so-called white people who say they Jamaica wish people. And that automatically proves it to be true when we say we're the people. So if we're truly the people, and we can prove that according to our own documentation, the scriptures, you know what I'm saying? God's documentation, that shows that y'all the wicked and y'all the liars. You know what I'm saying? Period. And once that happens, and that's supposed to happen. And that's what's happening right now. Why? Because and that sign that this place is about to end, and the exposure is taking place. And this is Esau losing the battle now. He picked it, but he started it. He started something he couldn't finish. It says, and then shall the wicked be revealed. Would nothing have to be revealed if you didn't hide it? See that? So you got it being revealed right now. That's due to you. You started something you would not be able to finish. You see? It's for me to know and you to find out that crap. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of righteousness in them that perish. See that? Meaning he got people that's dying because they was ultimately deceived by him. And those people being chiefly more concerned with our people. My people, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. And that's who everyone of the scriptures concerned is of. Then the rest of the earth. Because these people are enemies, man. Not like the so-called white man, though. These people are against us because he's there with him right now, But a lot of them waking up and starting to see. But anyway, exposing this double, because they receive not the love of the truth. See that they might be saved. So this is, man, the world ends when the one that's been lying, when it is exposed, he's revealed. Got people dying over stupid stuff, over blocks and whatnot, because they think they black people, or they think they gang members or something like that, because you kept the truth from them, But the Lord set all that up, as it says, and for this cause God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. See that? So this is how we know you had no parts in this. You know what I'm saying? Or you started something, from look, but couldn't finish it. Ultimately, because you didn't never really start it, man. And now the Lord on you. This is Job 20. And let's start at the point. It says, he has swallowed down. Now I'm going to jump to the point. Verse 19. Job 20:19, because he had oppressed and forsaken the poor, because he had violently taken away a house which he builded not. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that. He shall not save of that which he desired. See that? There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. See, Esau got everything and his back against the wall right now. He getting pushed back. It says, every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. And this is how he's getting bit by serpents. He's getting bit by serpents on the right hand and on the left hand. That's because these people he set up, he should, oh man. It says, let me read on. It says, and every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, God shall cast the fury upon God shall cast shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So he started something he can't finish. Eating in both senses. eating up everything that he, obtained through coveting, and oppressing a man and his heritage and stealing other people's stuff and then saying he's us in the other sense, eating off of that. You know what I'm saying? Eating off our labor. Literally. All of that, man. So I'm closed here. When you go back to verse 22, it says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, when he at his peak, he shall be in, that's when the Lord gonna get him. He shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Right? Sirach 12 and 13. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent? Or any such as come nigh wild beasts. So once again, we wouldn't have to expose the devil, or tell the truth if he was never telling lies. We wouldn't have to cast these things down. But anyway, Matthew 10 and 16, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. See that? Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. So the Lord, he's telling, because the word serpent in the Hebrew goes back to the Hebrew word, shapah, right? I believe it's shapah, or not shapah. It's in fact, yeah, sharpah, right, or sharapa, right? Which, when you go into the meaning is in there is wisdom. It's a symbol. It's used to symbolize. It's the meaning symbol going into the Hebrew Chaldee lexicon is used for a symbol to symbolize wisdom and something else I forget. So you got right hand serpents. You got the serpent on the right hand, right? Because the other serpent is Nakash, right? Nakash. Yeah, Nakash. Yeah, Nakash. And so that's that. So the Lord told us to be as wise as serpents. As I said, simply Esau picked something. He picked something. He started something he couldn't finish. Because it says Sirach 12 and 13, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent? You know what I'm saying? Or any such as come now wild beast. Matter of fact, I'll hold this. Proverbs 23 and 32. At the last it biteth like a serpent and stingeth like an adder. And that's spiritual. Job 8 and 7. It says, though thy beginning was small, yet thy latter end should greatly increase. Yet thy latter end should greatly increase. So it says the serpent was at the last, the serpent was going to bite. You know what I'm saying? So those wise serpents, literally, where is at the end, and Esau getting his ass bit, due to everything he did in the beginning, which was lie. So here we are at the end, taking a hold of the lies, exposing him, taking a hold of the truth, which is by default taking hold of the lies, like he, bit. He was playing. He wanted to play a game of wisdom with serpents, on the right hand side, and is biting him. It's the worst thing he could have ever did, man. He should have took heed. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't. Let's say the son of man have seen light. What's that, Baruch? The 3rd chapter I want to say that is. But they didn't walk in the path, Sirach 10, 12 and 10. So 12 and 13 I'll start at and I'll close out in 10. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent? See that? Look how everything come full circle, or any such as come nigh wild beast. So Esau thought he could, he not only getting bit by us, but he also getting bit by, Jake, who are these left hand serpents, which goes back to that Job 20. The hand of all the wicked shall come upon him. Man, he thought he could trust his enemy. Verse 10, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. You thought you can change these people. They was meant to be against you. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what you give them. He thought you could actually give them a contract, let them know the truth, and you would be good. No. You know what I'm saying? You thought you could charm them. And now that they biting you, coming back to bite you. You should have never, no, though he humble himself, see, and go crouching, yet take good heed of him, take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou has wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away. Come on, man. Set him not by all. It's just so funny because even if you want to be like, well, some of these niggas wouldn't outright turn on Esau, what they gonna do it eventually in the kingdom. See that? It's heavy. It says, set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. Right? You put these jakes in these offices, they know you the devil, man. It's innately in them. It says, and thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent? You want to shake their hand and, tell them smooth things, but they still Israelites. Or any such as come not wild beasts. They'll say some shit on accident. So Esau a damn dummy, and he started something he ultimately couldn't finish, man. He ultimately started something he can't finish. He's not gonna be able to finish. When he eating, the Lord said he gonna cast upon him. This shit just coming out of nowhere on this dude. Left and right, damage control, breach after breach. So they talking about Nets condemn Kyrie Irving's social media posts promoting anti-Semitic film. It don't matter. You could do all of that, but guess what? The truth is still coming out, and it's all happening. You coming out of power, man. It's all your downfall. So Lord, when you can edify, call them like how Basham, how shy, with how Dash, double honors to the hopefully like elder apostles and elder bishops at the great millstone, and to the rest of the Akim out here doing what they need to do in the order under the same doctrine. Shalom. Across the four corners of the globe, where we have been scattered to, but we about to be gathered from, and to the rest of you believers in on this faith of Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai. Till next time, Shalom.